Muy buenos dias. Today's lesson is about St. Nicholas Day. A lot of you are going to say, ¿Cómo? ¿Día de San Nicolás? ¿Qué es eso? I'll tell you. Many Spanish-speaking people, even in the United States, celebrate Christmas on el 6 de enero. Most people in this country celebrate it on el 25 de diciembre. But some people in North and South America celebrate Christmas on el 6 de diciembre. Ever since my great-grandpa Riedemann came over from Europe, my family's been celebrating St. Nicholas Day in America. We get up early on the morning of el 6 de diciembre and find our medias full of fun stuff. Some medias have already been emptied out and removed, as you can see in this picture. These have been emptied out, but are still hanging. I guess this media is not completely empty. See the wreath between las dos medias? Wreath means crown. Do you see how a wreath can be a crown? If you have a wreath in your home or school, try it on and see if it fits your cabeza. If it does, say, me queda. We don't say it fits in Spanish. We sort of say it stays well on me. So if it fits, say, me queda. And you can be king or queen for a day. So if you wanted to say wreath in Espanol, you could think, a wreath is a crown. So how do you say crown in Espanol? Look up wreath in el diccionario, and you'll find that the word for crown is corona. So a wreath es una corona. Aquí está una media pequeña. Una mediacita. It belongs to our dos gatas. If they were boy cats, I'd call them gatos. But remember that mine are females, so they're gatas. They can reach their media. Uh-oh, somebody else is peeking at la media de las gatas. Look way up there on the bookshelf. Si la cabeza pequeña y roja? It's hard to see. Can you see it? El pájaro carpintero. We met him in the lesson about the Appalachian Trail. He's thinking, quiero la media pequeña, la mediacita, la media de las gatas. See anyone else peeking? Es un pájaro rojo. And he's thinking, quiero la media pequeña, la media de las gatas. Las gatas are sleeping again. Most of the time, they're thinking, ay, tengo sueño. When they aren't thinking that, they're sleeping. Now listen to this. Nicholas, Nicholas, Claus. You hear that? Nicholas, Nicholas, Claus. Claus is a name of lots of people. It's the name of the man who runs the German meat market in Indianapolis. There are lots of Germans named Claus. Then there are some named Nicholas or Niklaus, and they live in countries that speak languages that are very much like German, but they're not quite German. Niklaus, Nicholas. You see? So Claus is Kulus, like the Nicholas, Kulus, and Nicholas, Niklaus, Claus. It's all the same thing. So Saint Nicholas or Saint Nick, you all know people named Nick and Nicholas. You probably just don't know anybody named Saint Nick or Saint Nicholas unless you happen to see him or read about him. Well, when I was growing up, I was taught that Saint Nicholas was a man named Nicholas. They said that he would go around to the poor section of town, and he would take a cloth before he went out, and he would put some coins, some valuable coins, and then he'd close up the cloth and tie it. He would go to the home of poor people, and he would throw it through their window. Can you believe that he would do that? See, at first you think, oh, this is a nice guy. But then you hear, he's throwing a gift through a window. Who's going to clean up all that broken glass? If you're thinking like that, that's because you think everybody's got windows like you might have, with glass in them. I can take you into Spanish-speaking countries where the people who have quite a bit of money don't have any windows in their houses. Not like you might be thinking they have. Windows don't have to have glass to be a window. That's why there are such things as glass windows. And then there are windows with no glass. I have been around lots of people in Latin America who didn't have glass in their windows. And the funny thing is that a lot of them who have glass in their windows, they'll open them up like big shutters, and there's nothing there then. There's no screen. They like it open. They like the air to be the only thing there. Nicholas, or Claus, would throw that through the ventana, and the people inside wouldn't know where it came from. For a long time, no one knew who this amigo was who was coming around and throwing this gift through their ventana. And he ended up being somebody who is much like maybe you are. Generous, likes to give. And so then people began telling stories about him, and they would make up stories like stories, all kinds of stories. Some of them aren't true and some of them are. This is a stocking, as you can see. In Spanish we call this a media, which means half. In other words, if you put it on, it would come halfway up. Here, let me put it on that side. It would come halfway up your leg. So on December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, I opened this up. It was just 2 days ago. Look what I got. A big chocolate bar. It's not so big now because I've been eating on it. I received a DVD. It was in here. You know, you don't have to get big gifts in your stockings. This is more than I would expect. This is more expensive. This probably cost $15. That's kind of a lot to find in a stocking. Let's take a closer look. I got some lemon drops. You can't eat too many of those at one time, or it'll feel like it burns a hole in your tongue. A CD, voces, that'll be in Spanish. And finally, a jar of kind of like jalea. I guess it's kind of like jelly. Maybe it's not. But anyway, that's what I've got. Now let's see what else I have. I said finally, but I meant as far as bigger things. Then I have different kinds of dulces. And the word chocolate comes from some of the indigenous people or Indians down in the heart of Mexico from, hundreds of years ago. And they said a word, they probably said it like this, xocolatl, or they might have said xocolatl, or they might have said xocolatl. Maybe they said it differently than that. And so whether you use the words St. Nicholas, St. Nick, or Santa Claus, it's the same guy. Now, maybe not as far as you're concerned. I mean, maybe in your family you don't like him. I'm just telling you that I grew up knowing about a guy named Nicholas. Did you know Santa Claus is not English? And in Spanish, we call him San Nicolás. San Nicolás. So that's what I have to tell you about St. Nicholas Day. It's not just a day for getting, but a day to remember about the beauty of sharing. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let you watch me share with Tiburón, some of our old friends. Pajarillo rojo. Yes, all of you can share. León. Es un león y nada más. Another tiburón con los ojos a los lados. Un gato amarillo. Un perrito. Otro tiburón. Un oso. This is St. Nicholas Day. A time for sharing. Otro oso. Otro oso. Un oso blanco. Un oso dorado. El pájaro carpintero. Un osito blanco con la gorra roja. La abeja. Un oso pequeño y negro. Un tigre. Y por fin, yo creo que es el último, otro oso. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Pooh. Oh. Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto. Okay, everybody, we're going to smile and get our picture taken.